from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Details about what happened to nearly 15,000 votes that were not initially reported in Henrico, and COVID cases continue to rise in the county. We'll have details about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Friday, November 6, 2020. Today's News Minute is brought to you by Commonwealth Catholic Charities.
And now for the news.
Well, there were some raised eyebrows on Wednesday when Henrico voter registration and elections officials realized that they had failed to report nearly 15,000 absentee ballots with a batch of other absentee votes earlier that morning. When they did report those ballots later Wednesday, the votes helped swing the 7th District congressional election to incumbent Democrat Abigail Spanberger, who claimed victory later that night in her race against Republican challenger Nick Freitas. The two are separated by just about 5,100 votes among the nearly 450,000 reported. Freitas has not yet conceded, but said that he would make a statement today after votes in the district were canvassed. On Thursday, Henrico Registrar Mark Coakley explained to the Citizen what happened to cause the ballot mix-up. He said that the ballots in question all were in-person absentee votes. Typically, when a person votes absentee in person, he or she scans the ballot into a machine, just as voters do on Election Day. Then memory sticks in the machine take images of each ballot. As memory sticks being used in that process began to fill up, Coakley suggested that instead of buying new ones, officials scan more in-person absentee ballots using a machine that typically scans only provisional ballots. During the early morning hours of Wednesday, Coakley's team was uploading the data from each memory stick used during the absentee process to produce an overall absentee report to send to the Virginia Department of Elections, but the report's parameters by default were set to collect only the data from absentee machine sticks and not from the provisional ballot machine. So as a result, the ballots that had been saved on that provisional stick were not part of the report, according to Coakley. Officials were first alerted to the discrepancy later Wednesday when the Virginia Public Access Project noticed what appeared to be a 21,000 vote discrepancy between the number of absentee votes the county had reported to the DOE previously and the total number it had identified on Tuesday night. That prompted Coakley to immediately review the data and catch the issue. He said it's an issue that would have been caught later that day anyway, since a reconciliation of data is a standard part of the reporting process. Now, there are another 5,500 or so ballots that have still not been counted. Officials hope to have that batch finalized today, according to Coakley. And then another 6,000 or so absentee ballots that still may arrive to Coakley's office by noon today. Those are ballots that were requested by and mailed to voters but had not yet been returned as of yesterday. In order to be counted, those ballots must have been postmarked no later than Election Day and must arrive again by noon today. There also were several hundred provisional ballots cast by Henrico voters. Those will be analyzed by the Henrico Electoral Board today to determine their status. Then by Monday or Tuesday next week, Henrico's Electoral Board will complete its certification of the county's votes and send that report to the Department of Elections. The Virginia Department of Health on Thursday reported a total of 58 new cases of COVID-19 in Henrico County, the fifth day of 50 or more new cases in the county since October 25th. That's the most days with 50 or more new cases in that short a window of time since late July, when the second of two peaks for the virus occurred. The county's 7-day average of new daily cases rose slightly above 45 as of Thursday. Its 7-day positivity percentage remains stable at 4.9% as of November 1st. 3 new COVID-related hospitalizations also were reported in the county Thursday. That increased Henrico's 7-day average of new daily hospitalizations to 4, which is the highest it has been since the first week of June. In total, 21 county residents have been hospitalized by COVID so far this month. That's already nearly half the number who were hospitalized during the entire month of October. Louis Ginter Botanical Garden has selected its next president and CEO. He is Brian Trader. He's currently the Deputy Executive Director and Director of Horticulture at the Delaware Botanic Gardens, where he's managing one of the nation's newest public gardens. Since its grand opening in 2019, he's expanded 2 new garden areas, secured competitive grants, and built a calendar to engage various communities. He'll begin his new role at Lewis Ginter January 4th. A traffic alert if you're driving in Eastern Henrico. Beginning on Monday, the Virginia Department of Transportation will temporarily close the ramp from Airport Drive north to I-64 west. That's all part of the I-64 Airport Drive Bridge Replacement and Interchange Improvement Program. If you're trying to get to I-64 west from Airport Drive north, there's a temporary crossover ramp that you'll be able to use. The permanent ramp is expected to reopen in the fall of next year. The ramp from Airport Drive south to I-64 east also is closed with a temporary crossover path in use. Weather permitting, that ramp is expected to reopen this winter. You can visit henricocitizen.com, then click News and Transportation to read more about the project. On henricocitizen.com right now, you can click on News and then Crime to view our most recent weekly roundup of crime incidents in the county. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Commonwealth Catholic Charities. Change the world for a teen who needs you. Become a foster parent. Learn about Commonwealth Catholic Charities' International Foster Care Program today. Call 804-545-5949 or visit cccofva.org to learn more.